How's that? Is that better?
You're live.
I can't believe y'all just can't hear me. Loud as I can be. All right, welcome everyone. It's 6 o'clock. We'll go ahead and get started. Go ahead and take a prayer before we start. Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time to come together. Deal with the business of the city tonight, Lord. We pray that you give us wisdom and knowledge, make good decisions that are peaceful for this city. We ask this in your name. Amen. Let's take it for the pledge. Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, this time we'll have citizens' comments. Don't you have any comments? I know you do. Don't hold back. You'll have another chance here at the end. All right. Approval of agenda. I have a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
I'll second. Motion made by Julia to approve the agenda as written, second by Tony. Everybody have time to look over the minutes from December?
Wait, no, you gotta take a vote.
Oh.
Sorry.
All in favor of approving the agenda?
I
All against? Motion carried. Minutes for December work session and regular meeting. We have a chance to look those over?
No, not yet.
Nope.
You will.
They're coming.
They're coming.
We'll have that for next week.
You don't have them before then.
Yard of the month will be next week as well. Finances.
Update, we're currently, today's day 1 of 3 weeks of training and start over with software. So at 2 o'clock, 1:30, CSI went down. We won't be back live till the 20th. So payments will all be hand receipts right now for a week. And like I said, and we'll start calling bad names this out. But we have the ones with available balance in the bank account right now, so the general fund's at $1,746,000. Water fund, utility side, $130,000. The deposit account still is right around $110,000. Your water tap fees have gone down slightly to $152,000, and that's because we pay for the water repairs on these roads. The sewer tap fee still sits at just over 2.3 million. SPLOST, your SPLOST accounts, and bank account and T-SPLOST, really have not really updated because we're waiting for that bank statement. They're not online, but your banks county SPLOST did go up slightly to 207,000. And our, we down to about 23,000 left in that account, and that'll be spent. Sure. We'll have a good opening for the lift station. So this remainder will go in paying that project. I'm just thinking of that. And we'll be done with that. And that's all I have right now. Like I said, we're hoping with the change over the monthly reports, that reports will be a lot easier to produce and reconciliation reports. So you should get the February review more detailed, and we should be online for that.
Update on repaving Athens Street primarily.
As all of you know, the dip is gone. And we wasn't doing that specifically because UTEC, the subcontractor for power, took out a section of the bottom of our sewer line, which was terracotta. So their bill is basically from the manhole that's right at the end part of alley up which probably like 3,000.
Probably.
That they're responsible for paying. And while they had the ground open, we figured it was fine to open the ground. We have not gotten a final invoice yet, and make adjustments in the price, because one is we provided, traffic control, so that's a discount. And unbeknownst to us, the last time the road was open, the city did replace pepper cut one, so we only needed about half what we anticipated.
Do we know how long that was?
8 or 9 years ago, from what was being told. But I will tell you, the brush that was used was, it looked like something I would use in my garden. There was no rock in it, no action, and that's why we did prefer when it did, so. That project was done, so with one, repair on 51, it's a start, we will make, application for LMA later this week. Over this cycle, so we should pay about 50,000 from the state, so we'll have to match that, with, sports funds. And I did forward everybody's, also listen to road study. The road street committee will meet later this month, and we'll discuss it, and they'll come back to the council as a whole on recommendations.
All right, next up, committee assignments. I have spoke to everyone here as far as committees. Nothing's really changed. Finance committee, Tony and Andrew. HR committee, Tony and Chris. Planning and zoning, Tony and Garnett. Street committee, Tony and Juliet. Utility committee, Chris and Juliet. Public safety committee, Chris and Andrew. Park and festival, Andrew and Garnett. Cemetery committee, Garnett and Juliet. And downtown beautification development, between Juliet and Andrew. And I've also instructed, Frank that committees, all committees will meet within the next 3 months, and will meet at the bare minimum on a quarterly basis, if not more. And once they've met, they'll come back at the first work session with an update as far as what they discussed for those committees. Do we have a motion to accept committees?
First of all, Mayor, you did make those appointments under the charter, so you made that announcement, and we didn't, I didn't advertise this meeting as a special call.
Okay.
That was like your, those years.
Right.
All right. And those will stand as read. Appointment of Mayor Pro Tem, I spoke to Tony to continue on as that. And that will, Tony? Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you. And reappointments. City Judge, Hammond Law, City Attorney, Doug Holman, City Manager, Frank Etheridge, and City Clerk, K.G. Garner. Any discussion on that?
And those are matters, Mayor, that if you and council prefer to discuss those in executive session, since that involves personnel, you're entitled to do that, and executive session can be voted on at work session. So I'll leave that to you and council.
Any discussion?
I think we will discuss in the executive session.
You also got your 2026 meeting calendar and holiday schedule. Any changes, commissions, anybody sees? The only thing I saw was the floating holiday to leave the same, Good Friday. Everyone good with that?
I'm good with that one. Frank, is this the same calendar that we received before the end of the year for when planning, council, and regular sessions are, or, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't get a chance to go through it and verify.
It's the same, the only things we changed, meeting dates, On the January's to address the.
Okay.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Trying to make sure there's a lot of other things we get started.
And behind that schedule, you have this middle cycle also. As far as when applicants for variances with zonings, would need to get through to a specific period of time. So,
Anyone else on holiday schedule? Meeting calendar? Discussion of application of ordinances.
Mayor, I believe I'm the one who requested that be put on because this clarification involves what we got from Muni Code, which is over 600 pages, plus handful of ordinances that were not included with Muni Code, including the zoning ordinance that we had sent through. And I recognize that's a lot for council to address. The ones, all of those ordinances are ordinances that council has approved. So those are our existing ordinances. It's a matter of codifying those ordinances. And I was really just wanting this to remain on the agenda so we have a schedule as we go forward. When you tell me, yes, we've had a chance to review and any revisions that council requests that we insert, we will then run a notice that we are looking to have the public hearing, we've had public hearings, but if there's any revisions, then we would have that hearing, and you would vote and adopt those ordinances, and any conflicting ordinance would be repealed. So I'm really just trying to keep whatever schedule council directs you want to keep as it relates to those.
How soon would you like to see that?
You're eligible to vote on it now unless y'all tell me there's some revision that you want to make, and therefore we have another public hearing before you adopt it. So I'm just however the council wants to go. I don't have a set time where we using these ordinances as the city's code. For now, we just formal adoption is what we're looking to accomplish.
Okay. Is everyone good with a 60 days for final adoption? That gives us enough time to look that over?
Yes.
60 days? Sounds good. Being that there's an awful lot in there, and I know Andrew and I both being new, it's gonna take us a little bit to catch up on this. All right. Discussion on need for data changing station at the depot. I know this was brought up, last year as well, and I do believe Frank has got, some stuff in here as well, some pictures I asked for him to add with different options for us. Did we had a chance to look that over? Right.
basically, it was requested to provide a main station. And we did one side, we want to do one side to the, which I can detail at this point. What's come up, changing stations are not required either by ADA or the building code. All it does say is if you choose to put one in an ADA space, that ADA space has to be fully compliant. Our ADA spaces are not fully compliant, as you see in the size, we're short on depth, width, and on both men's and women's. So, kind of put in, a changing station there, would put us in further violation of the ADA compliance issue. So we looked at other alternatives. I had initially given 3 alternatives, and this time added a 4th. The first one was to take out the middle bathroom. They're narrow bathrooms at 33.5 inches wide, and make that a changing station room, basically a vertical drop down versus a horizontal drop down. The issue there is it still wouldn't be available for a handicap person, it just be, well, better term. The second one, that was the second recommendation, I apologize. The second recommendation was to remove the middle toilet and combine it with the third space, which is not ADA, it's just a regular bathroom, stall. So we would have 2 stalls instead of 3. On the men's side, that's probably not an issue. On the women's side, that probably is an issue. But again, it's there. The third alternative was to go beyond the scope of the existing footprint of the building and build a separate bathroom outside, so under the eaves. The feedback I've gotten there is that it would take away from the aesthetics of the existing building. So it's also the most expensive option. The fourth option, at least for the near term, is buying a portable, touch it up, and be able to hang behind the door, one of the doors. And so what you have is, as far as handouts, the first one was looking at the vertical. And what I wanted to look at is the clearance that's coming out of the walls at 36 inches. And you go back to the first page. The deck is only 57 inches, so getting it in there would be difficult to have mom standing there and then reaching. So that in our mind was not. And if you look to the horizontal, the regular one that you used to see, the minimum size is right at 36 inches to pull that seat out of the wall. The width of our stall, of our 2 non-handicap stalls, is only right at 36 inches. So finding one that's contoured enough that you can fit in there would be difficult, but that would be option one or 2. And so you got other pictures, the price ranges of those long-run ones. The cheap ones are in the low 2s, and they can go to several $1,000s. The most expensive one I showed you there was like $10,000. That's not what I'm recommending. I think the average would be what we would try to buy is about $500 range. And then the final 2 pictures ranges are for the more traditional collapsible or baby carriage. So the first one was the collapsible one that we could hang on the door. The concern, we're just talking about the depot, is because we have a deposit. If this damage disappears, then that we can hold the deposit and we can replace it. The second one would not fit in the bathrooms, but that would be setting up an area behind the red curtains. We can move the chairs and furniture a little bit, the store back there, but that's not a perfect solution either. But I did want to offer, if we went with collapsible one, we could hook it behind the door in both bathrooms. It takes about 4 inches when it's in collapse mode, and I think they could be there. It's just making sure that they're set correctly before events and keep an eye on them. But obviously, we might wind up replacing these on I would say at least annually, but I'm projecting probably at least twice a year, if not 3 more.
Okay, I'm just gonna say my concern with the collapsible is the stability of it. What would the legal ramifications be if the kid got hurt on that one? And also, as a mom, things wiggle. That thing does not look steady, safe. I would want to put my kid on it.
What's the weight difference? I'm seeing on the collapsible is 33 pounds. What is the stationary one?
Yeah, it's probably in the forties, should be less than 50 pounds.
I mean, I have a second Juliet's concern on these. I mean, what's it gonna cost us in the long run if a baby were to fall off or something would happen? And the first thing they're gonna do is come to the city and it's probably gonna get in our way of doing other things. Also, I'm just looking at it, I look at it as a sanitary issue as well. I mean, how sanitary is it really gonna be? When you have multiple babies on there and they have, maybe they're sick and they get sick on that, and it's gonna be going to everybody. I don't think that's a great solution. I also worry about, yeah, they're gonna disappear. I mean, the reality is, who's gonna be watching the whole time to keep them from getting disappeared? And I know it's been brought up, I was putting my 2 cents on it. I know it may not look as good, but I personally like the idea of adding an extra space, not only for having a space for residents to have a changing station, or another parent can have the room necessary to do it, but I also like it because I've been in the depot bathroom, aren't that welcoming for somebody that will be disabled. I think it doesn't give enough space, so I don't really want to close out the option of adding a space that's dedicated to people that are disabled that need a little extra room, to have a bathroom of their own, to use it, as well as parents that have a place that's better and more suitable to change their babies and have that space.
I would agree with you. I mean, I understand the concern about it breaks up the aesthetic and it breaks up the feel of being able to walk all the way around the depot. But the bottom line is, if we are a city who is trying to plan for our families that are here, and we're a city trying to plan for our growth and our future, we need to look at being ADA compliant. We need to look at being welcoming for parents and families. Because right now, I will tell you, the number one complaint I hear about the depot is this changing station and not being able to change your kid in there. And it's why there's an entire group of moms in this area that will not rent, look at, or go to an event there because there's no place to change their kid. They either have to change in their lap, on one of the tables, in their car, or God forbid, attempt to try to go on that bathroom counter, and it doesn't work.
I would also caution, if we went the route of renovating that, making ADA, we'd have to do that here at City Hall. We'd have to do that in the park with the bathrooms that are there. We have to make a uniform all the way across the board.
It's gonna be very expensive.
Especially one at the park. I think for the time being, the second picture on the portable, albeit, as you said, not sanitary, but neither are the ones that pull down. You don't know what's being used out of those either. They're still gonna have to be cleaned. Cost-wise, until a better solution can come up, I think, I would go for the portable, be able to sort it. If you look at the cost, you can do an awful lot of portable changing stations, I think, for that cost compared to what it would cost to build that outdoor. And that would take away from a lot of functionality of the depot, where you block off that, being able to walk around it all the way. Especially when you look at railroad days, when you look at the other functions that we have over there, Christmas time, being able to walk around the depot. I think we need to explore possibly even a better solution than building something on the outside. Not saying that we don't need it, but we also have to look at, if you do it for one, you're gonna have to do it for all the facilities that do that. Because people do need here, people do need down at the park when they're down there with the kids, and yes, they do use picnic tables down there. I've seen that happen, but we need to look at all those options as well, so.
Well, and maybe we need to consider looking at all of those options and becoming a city that is ADA compliant. for
I agree. Being ADA myself, I would agree on that. And I'm not as ADA as most people would be, but I think that's something we need to look at. But I think for the short-term solution, the portable does suit the needs. I think that would get us over the hump until we can actually get a better study as to what's gonna work best for everything. And then,
That's what I'm being puzzled with.
and then look at possibly doing them all at one time to a point where we can find that viable solution problem.
If we would do it, I would suggest we don't do the folding one that hangs behind.
Right, now, I like the other one
Because that
better.
one scares me.
It does.
But Joey, my concern is, if we do this, how is that going to affect the city legally if we were to have the temporary unit, not a permanent type unit?
Legally, we shouldn't be on the specific circumstances, but generally, the city should be protected, because we would have immunity as long as we comply with whatever regulations there are, and Frank is right, our review of it is, the only way you have any ADA issue is if you interfere with the necessary ADA requirements, and there are no separate code regulations regarding a baby changing station. So this would be analyzed similar to a slip and fall, all those situations, that unless it's established that the city is a known danger, we should be protected.
And I do think that this opportunity, we are showing that we are trying to accommodate parents and kids. That's what I see it as. I mean, we're already underneath on our sizes for the bathroom anyway, according to this, right?
Yes,
According to the building code, we're not even up to code on that. So,
that's correct.
and by,
That was a city decision, just in space restrictions on the remodeling occurred.
Yeah, I would take it, this would be a lesson learned, for any construction that we undertake going forward, that we not, only build out to the minimum standards required, but to overbuild in these particular areas so that we have the ability to, expand or do, compliance adjustments as those come. So this would be a lesson learned opportunity.
I agree. You have to think of the future, you have to think down the road, not just immediate. Anyone else on the changing stations? All right. Discussion on city logo. Julie, you had a few things on that?
I've given everybody, I think it was last month, a copy of 2 suggestions, but really haven't heard much back from anybody if they were for or against. The printer that we've been, or the designer and printer we've been working with, just wants to know if there's something you want to do different, is there a different direction you want to go? That's all they have.
And Tony, you had some other options as well, too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would wonder if we wanted to, put this into a committee, if we could come up with a definition of, what's the scope of the project, are we looking to redesign the city logo? What would the criteria be? And then, provide that time period to figure out where we're going to obtain potential logo designs, if that's what we're after. And then we can review. That's what I would suggest. I don't know if there's a particular committee that would want to be looking at that.
Well, that's what I was just looking at. Parks and Festival Committee, don't correct me if I'm wrong on this, but would that not deal more with a logo for advertising of all the ones that we do have?
It would fall under downtown beautification and the development committee.
They could do that too. I guess either one of those, but yeah, downtown beautification.
Because if the goal here is to make it so it's a unified logo, it can be done on any print, signage, anything, if we do anything like this anywhere else, being shirts, anything, I would think it would fall more there than.
I agree. All right. Well, since you suggested that, Julia, Tony, would you like to join in on that trip committee when we do meet for that? And I would suggest that we do that within the next 30 days. So we get this settled. We've already been discussing it now for 2 months, so, or longer, haven't it?
A little bit longer.
That would turn it into a council meeting with Tony being the.
Yes. Okay. Andrew, you good working on this?
Yeah.
You know, can you some of Tony's ideas? How does that sound?
Would it be a council meeting if I was just providing, content to the meeting?
No. Because council can attend if you don't be on the right, so he can still have input. Right, okay.
Any council change is just, it's the committee that you appointed. to Make the decision. We know that, public meetings anyway.
All right. Everyone agree with that then? We'll add that to the downtown beautification development committee. We'll get that on the books for within the next 30 days. All right. And we're back to citizens' comments, one last time.
Rock Griffin, 61 Airmore Way. Welcome to our new administration head and members, I'd like to say that. Hopefully, 63 improvement. Few things, I hope that it's not swept under the rug, things that I've been asking for months, that the setbacks in these subdivisions that got blocked of their land be rectified. They got through in with acres that was meant for large acre tracts. Subdivisions already had setbacks in place, and they were taken away. Myself, I have no property now. With that said, I'd also like to see somebody go back on Bell Bridge Road, clean it up. I mean, it's just broken, the number of places that are seeming to be, now we got the Great Wall of Lula going up. Well, everybody's seen that, but it's not hard to miss going down the road, going left. Looks like it's bad coming down the front side now. Also, I'd like to comment on the baby changing station. I'm about some general commercial contractors. This is a thing that we have to do in any areas of assembly. The fold down is the gold standard. They're tough, they're strong. But you have to, one, you should have a permit pulled by a commercial contractor, state license. And two, it should be inspected by the fire department. Those changing stations are supposed to have backing blocking behind them so that they are properly installed. To install it in an existing place, you would need to cut the sheetrock like at the depot. Cut the sheetrock, put in a proper backing of blocking, and then install it properly. The phone out there is gold standard. It holds up, and they also have gift for like $130. They're on many places, websites, and they also have a place for the lady to hang a purse. Wipes are already there, sanitary station can be there already to clean it, and they do come with seatbelts. So it's a pretty common thing that we are required now in any place of assembly. But it should be taken by the fire. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right. At this time, executive session. Do we have a motion to go into executive session?
Make a motion to go in.
One second.
Motion made by Garnet, to go into executive session, second by Juliet. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? We'll turn to that. We'll be right back.
I make a motion that we exit executive session.
I'll second.
Motion made by Juliet to exit executive session, seconded by Tony. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Two. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second that motion. Motion to adjourn made by Garnet, second by Andrew. We are adjourned.
I hope not.